Hi, my Saudi kids. Today I will resume the review of the letters, and I have a subject today about the names of vegetables. But before I will go to these items today, I would like to say don't forget to make share, like, subscribe to my channel, send you new videos. First of all, I would like to grade Kuwaiti people by its famous grading, which is حياكم الله al Kuwait. Let's go to our lesson today. Here we have here I would review the I will make a review on the alphabets. Here we have capital F and small f. F for what? F for fish. So I would like to start the letters from the beginning to remind you by the letters that we learned before. Okay. Here is I would like to start the letters from the beginning. Here's one. Capital A and small a. A for apple. Capital A and small a. A for apple. Here's capital B and small b. B for book. Capital B and small b. B for book. Capital C and small c. C for what? C for cat. Capital C and small c. C for cat. Capital D and small d. D for dog. Capital D and small d. D for dog. Capital E and small e. E for what? E for elephant. Capital E and small e. E for what? E for elephant. And E for egg also. We can say elephant and we say egg. So capital E and small e. E for egg. Capital E and small e. E for egg. The booklet downloaded before, you can download the booklet and trace the letters. Okay. There is capital F and small f. F for what? F for fish. Capital F and small f. F for what? F for fish. Go to the rest. Capital G and small g. G for girl. Capital G and small g. How can I write capital G? Here is capital G and small g. G for what? G for girl. G for what? G for girl. Capital G and small g. There is capital H and small h. Capital H and small h. There is capital H and small h. H for what? H for hen. So capital G and small g. I would like to remind you capital G and small g. G for girl. Capital H and small h. H for what? H for hen. Capital G and small g. G for girl. Capital H and small h. H for what? H for hen. Let's continue. So let's do this exercise together. Here is capital B or small one, this one. I would like to remind you again by the capital B and small b. Small b, small b and small d. Small d written like this and small b is written like this and small d written like this. Must take care when you write capital B and small b because some of you can have misunderstanding when writing this letter. So here is capital, here is a small b and this is small d. You must take care when you writing. Okay, let's continue the rest of the exercise here. Here is capital B, where is the small b? This one. Capital A, where is small and this one. Capital D, this capital D and small d. Capital C and small c. Let's go to another one. Here is capital F, where is the small one? This one. Capital E, this is one by small one. Is capital E by small e. Capital G by small g and capital H by small h. Let's go to another one. So here is G. Where is here is D capital? Where is this small? This one. Capital A. Where is small A? This one. Capital C. Where is small C? This one. Capital E. Where is small E? This one. Capital F. This is capital F, and this we have a wrong here. This wrong because we have this is not the small F. Small F written like this. So here is capital F and small f. Capital F and small f. So here we have a mistake. Here you can take care when you answer this question. Okay. here we have capital G, where is small one? This one. Capital H, where is small one? This one. Capital G, where is small g? This one. So here is we have capital letter, and I write the small letter. Here is small c. Here is small e. Here is small f. Here is small a. So I would like to repeat with me. Capital C and small c. Here's capital C and small c. Capital E and small e. Capital F and small f. Capital A and small a. There's capital F and small f. Capital A and small a. I would like to repeat with me. There's capital C and small c. Capital E and small e. Capital F and small f. And capital A and small a. Let's continue the rest of the exercise. Capital B, where is a small b? Here is small b. So here's capital A and small a. I would like to write capital A and small a, and this called capital B and small b, written like this. Capital C and small c, written like this. Capital D and small d, written like this. And capital E and small e, written like this. And capital F and small f, written like this. So here we have capital A and small a. Capital B and small b, capital C and small c, capital D and small d, capital E and small e, and capital F and small f. Let's continue the rest of the exercise. So here is the small letter. I write the capital one. The capital one, it will be here F. Capital here is D. Capital here is E. So this is the capital letters of this code, small letter, and this called capital letter. Here's capital letter F, capital letter G, and capital letter E. Let's continue the rest of the exercise. So here also we have the same question as the last one. I answer 5 of them, and I will leave the rest to do it by myself. Here is capital B, capital D. Where is the small d? This one. Okay, pupils. Capital E, where is the small e? This one. Capital F, where is the small f? This one. There is capital G, where is the small g? This one. Capital H, where is capital H? This capital H, and this is small h. Capital A and small is this one. Okay. So here is capital I and small I. How can I write capital I and small I? Capital I and small I. I for what? I for ice cream. I would like to remind you by the vowel. What is the vowel? A, E, I, O, U. So I would like to repeat with me the vowel. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. Called vowels. Called what? Called vowels. I would like to repeat with me. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. Called vowels. A, E, I, called U. A, E, I, O, U. Called vowels. A, E, I, called A, E, I, O, U. Called vowels. A, E, I, O, U. Called vowels. A, E, I, O, U. Called vowels. I think now we remind, when we ask about the vowels, can't forget it, okay? Because I make a song to remind you by these vowels, okay? Let's continue the rest of our lesson. So here is capital I and small I. Let's go to another one. Here is capital J and small j. How I can write capital J? This is called capital J and small j. J for what? J for Jack, and J also for what? For Jane. You can say Jane. Okay. So the pronunciation of the letter J to be Jane, jacket, Jane, jacket, Jane, jacket. Yeah, let's continue the rest of the letters. There is capital K and small k. K for what? K for key. Capital K and small k. K for what? K for key. Capital K and small k. K for what? K for key. Here's capital L and small l. L for line. Capital L and small l. L for line. Capital L and small l. L for line. So capital L and small l. L for line. And L for what also? L for lemon. Okay. all these words started by letter L. L for lemon, L for lime. So capital L and small L. So let's do this exercise together. Here is A, B, C, capital. Here is where is the small one? This one. D, E, F, small. Sorry, D, E, F, capital. Where is the D, E, F, small? This one. Capital G, H, I. So G, H, I. This is the small of G, H, I. J, K, L. This is the capital letter J, K, L. So the small one, it will be J, K, L. So here is the, we put right or wrong. Here is, we have a mistake. Is be written like this? No, because small be written like this. So this is wrong. Here is small c. Here is the capital C. Small c written like this? No, small c written like this. So it's wrong. Here is small e, capital N, small e. Yes. Here is capital G and small g. Capital H and small h. Here is wrong and here is wrong. Must take care when you answer. Okay. So here we have capital letters and small letters. So here is capital H and small h, capital A and small a, capital D and small d. Here's capital B and small b, write capital B and small b, capital C and small c, okay? Capital D and small d, capital A and small a, okay? Let's continue the rest of the exercise. So here we have listen and circle the and color. Okay. So here we have E. What is the E capital and E small? So I select this one by this one. I color this E by this E. Okay. So here we have capital M and small m. How can I write capital M? I write capital M as it is. This is called capital M and small m. M for what? M for monkey. M for what? M for monkey. I would like to repeat with me. Here is capital M and small m. M for what? M for monkey. M for what? M for monkey. Okay. Today I review until letter N. Next class I will continue the rest of the letters. Okay. Here is, let's go to letter N. Here is capital N and small n. Capital N and small n. N for what? N for nurse. N for what? N for nurse. And N for what? Also N for nest. We have N for nest. The place that the birds sleep in. This is called the nest. Here is capital N and small n. N for nest and N for what? And N for nurse. And N for what also? N for nose. All these words started by letter N. Yes, all these words started by letter N. And it's correct. If we write nose, it's correct. If we write nest, it's correct. If we not write nurse, it's correct. All these words start by letter N. Okay. So here is where we have, today we stop on letter N. I would like to make a quick review on this letter before I go to another topic here in this part, in this video. Okay, I start by letter A. There is capital A and small a. A for apple. Capital A and small a. A for apple. Capital B and small b. B for book. Capital B and small b. B for book. Capital C and small c, capital C and small c, C for cat. Capital C and small c, C for cat. Capital D and small d, D for dog. Capital D and small d, D for dog. Capital E and small e, E for egg. Capital E and small e, E for egg. E for egg, E for elephant, E for ear. E for egg, E for elephant, and E for ear. E for egg, E for elephant, and E for ear. Capital E and small e. Capital E and small e. I would like to remind you by the vowels. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, A-E-I-O-U, called vowels. A-E-I-O-U, called vowels. A-E-I-O-U, called vowels. A-E-I-O-U, called vowels. A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. These are vowels. These are vowels. A-E-I-O-U. So let's go to the next letter. It will be here. Capital F and small f. F for fish. Capital F and small f. F for fish. Capital G and small g. G for girl. Capital G and small g. G for girl. Capital H and small h. H for hen. Capital H and small h. H for hen. Capital I and small I. Capital I and small I. I for ice cream. Capital I and small I. I for ice cream. Capital J and small j. J for jacket. J for jacket and J for jam. Capital J and small j. J for jacket and J for jam. Capital K and small k. Capital K and small k. K for key. Capital K and small k. K for key. Capital L and small l. L for line. Capital L and small l. L for line. Capital M and small m. M for monkey. Capital M and small m. M for monkey. Capital N and small n. N for nurse. Capital N and small n. N for nurse. Capital M and small m. M for monkey. Capital M and small m. M for monkey. Capital N and small n. N for nose. Capital N and small n. N for nose. N for nose. M for nest and M for nurse. N for nose. N for nest and M for nurse. Capital N and small n. N for nose. N for nest and M for nurse. Okay. So here we stop here on letter N. Next class we review from O till the end of the letters. Okay. Let's go to another item here. I would like to study some new words with you. Okay. Last class we learned colors. I would like to remind you by the colors. So last class we learned the colors. This is called red, green, orange, purple. Green, red, green, orange, purple. Red, green, orange, purple. Blue, black, pink, gray, blue, black, pink and gray. Yellow, white, brown, silver. Yellow, white, brown, and silver. Let's go to another one. Here is called vegetables. Let's learn the vegetables together. Here we say potato, tomato, carrot, corn. I would like to pick with me. Potato, tomato, carrot. I think we took carrot with letter C. It's not difficult to know it. So here we have potato, tomato, carrot, and corn. Potato, tomato, carrot, and corn. There is cucumber, onion, peas, broccoli, olive, pepper, eggplant. So here we eggplant, mushroom. I would like to put with me again these words. Here we have potato, tomato, carrot, corn, potato, tomato, carrot, and corn. Here we have cucumber, onion, bees, broccoli, olive, pepper, eggplant, mushroom. I would like to remind you this to write it by yourself. Last class, I sent this on the video. You can return to the last video and leave your parents downloaded to trace to write these words. Okay, so here we have potato, tomato, carrot, cone, potato, tomato, carrot, and cone. Cucumber, onion. Peas, they have a mistake here. This with be like pin, not be like bone. We write this as you have misprinted here. Peas written like this. Okay, so here bees written like this. I have a mistake here. Okay, can write it as it is. Bees, broccoli. Okay. So here we have olive, pepper, eggplant, mushroom. I would like to repeat again. Potato, tomato, carrot, corn, cucumber, onion, beans, broccoli, olive, pepper, eggplants, and mushroom. Okay. So here we learn vegetables. Next class, I will give you the names of the fruits. By this item, I end from our video. I hope to benefit and enjoy our video today. Thanks a lot until we meet again. Goodbye.